Hello friends, if you're new to my channel, welcome. How about going down and hitting the subscribe button and ringing the bell so you don't miss any episodes? For my fans and subscribers, welcome back. I really do appreciate you. Today's topic, Jehovah's Witnesses and alienation, and this is something that they're really good at. Let's go. Many left the Bible student movement due to changes in doctrine related to character development and the faithful and wise servant. However, as long as the congregations elected their own elders and made their own decisions, they would continue to ignore Rutherford's decisions. So he had to find a way to dominate the elders. To do this, he argued that society was commissioned to do the preaching. Therefore, anyone who did not support the work as outlined by the president was opposing the will of God. So he accused those elders who did not implement his decisions as being self-assuming and puffed up. How ironic. However, Rutherford knew that he could not attack the elected elders without already having others to install in their places. Between 1919 and 1931, he tightened control over the Bible students by developing preaching activities that were controlled by the society under the supervision of service directors. These service directors had first been appointed in 1919 to distribute the Golden Age. The new activities to which Rutherford appointed these service directors included circulating convention resolutions, and in 1926, Rutherford expanded these responsibilities to include distributing Watchtower literature door to door. This effectively put into place pro-society preaching directors in the congregations because although service directors were nominated by the congregations, they were appointed by the society. At the same time, he sought to weaken congregation autonomy by changing the nature of the meetings. With this goal in mind, he suggested that the Bible student meeting format of prayer and testimony be changed into two-part meetings. One meeting, the service meeting, would be devoted to promoting the preaching work, while the other meeting would focus on studying Watchtower articles. By 1932, Rutherford and his supporters were aggravated that some of the elders refused to accept without question the dictates of the society, so Rutherford eliminated them. Ostensibly, the reason for this was that since the Holy Spirit had made elders overseers of the flock of God, there was no job left for the elders now that Jesus himself was overseeing things. In their place, Rutherford instituted the Service Committee, which for a while were elected by local congregations. But in 1938, Watchtower started appointing them. Not only did Rutherford change the name to Jehovah's Witnesses, he even changed their terms to military terms, which, if you think about it, is ironic since they claim to be pacifists. Other changes Rutherford made to the organization only served to alienate the Jehovah's Witnesses psychologically even more. While they lived and worked in society, they held themselves apart in every other way. Contrary to Russell, who taught that almost everyone would be resurrected, by the 1930s, Rutherford started teaching that the Christian clergy, dissenting Bible students, Adam and Eve, Cain, residents of Sodom and Gomorrah, Solomon, and a host of others were doomed forever. The June issues of the Watchtower in 1929 introduced a new exegesis of Romans 13, 1-7, in which the secular state was seen as demonic by the Jehovah's Witnesses. In 1932, Rutherford abandoned the teaching that natural Jews played a role in the divine plan. After the introduction of this teaching, Jehovah's Witnesses saw themselves as the only Israel of God. It was not until 1935 that Jehovah's Witnesses took the position against saluting national flags and standing for national anthems. Under his presidency, austerity became the witness way of life. Christmas and birthday parties were declared of pagan origin, unchristian, and as a result, banned. For a while, even singing hymns was banned. Even beards, worn in honor of Russell, were frowned upon as vanity. Although Rutherford was not the only person who influenced this community in the 20s and 30s, he was the major one. Another influence that should be mentioned was Clayton Woodworth, who imposed unorthodox views on the witnesses via the pages of the Golden Age, of which he was editor. Among other eccentricities, he hated the American Medical Association and had a vendetta against the aluminum industry. From him, witnesses picked up more strange attitudes and behaviors which only served to further their alienation from society. Despite distributing Watchtower literature, Rutherford preaching on the radio, and hours and hours spent going door to door, there was surprisingly little growth. Prior to 1928, no permanent growth occurred, and for the next decade, there was only 2.97% growth per year. While Watchtower did gain converts, many old-time Bible students were cutting ties to the organization. Doctrinal changes and power struggles caused many to drift away, and when the Dawn Bible Students Association formed in 1929 and 1930, many joined it. Due to a number of factors, Watchtower started growing during the last few years of Rutherford's life. These included improved organizational structure, the doctrine of the Vindication of Jehovah's name, doctrine of the Great Multitude, harsh conditions of the Depression, and the outbreak of World War II. We will cover a few of these. Changes made the organization more hierarchical than it had been. Elders were now appointed by the society, as well as congregations being organized into zones. In turn, zones were organized into regions. Zone servants regularly visited congregations, and regional servants visited at convention times. By 1938, those opposing this theocracy earned the label of troublemaker, and such troublemakers were to be shunned. This meant that most Jehovah's Witnesses supported both the preaching work and theocracy. It was this attitude that preaching should go on at any cost that caused trouble with the Nazis. This seal was due to the doctrine of the Vindication of Jehovah's name still taught today. Rutherford taught that true and final vindication would come at Armageddon, when God would destroy the wicked, read, join us, or die. What probably caused the most growth, however, was introducing the doctrine of the Great Multitude. Russell had taught that Bible students are of the 144,000 of Revelation, while most of mankind would live on paradise earth. There was also a great multitude that would live on a secondary plane of heaven, so to speak. In 1923, Watchtower taught that there was a third class, the other sheep. Such concepts were complex, and thus witnesses saw their job as gathering the elect. God would sort out the rest. By 1935, Rutherford taught that the great multitude and other sheep were actually of the same class. Rutherford died at Beth Sarim on January 8, 1942, after a long time of being sick. He wanted to be buried at Beth Sarim, but that was denied due to zoning. His legacy lives on in most JW doctrine. Well, friends, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, press the subscribe button, and if you want to know when I come out with new content, hit the bell next to the subscribe button. My Twitter, Discord, email, and PayPal links are in the description, along with the source I used for this episode. If you wish to support this channel, you may do so on my PayPal link. Please leave comments in the comment section. Not only do I like hearing from you, but it also triggers the YouTube algorithm. Keep learning and searching for truth. Here are a few videos from my library. If you haven't watched them yet, go ahead and watch them and tell me what you think. Until next time, friends, stay safe and goodbye.